Alrighty everyone, welcome to the stream. Sorry that it's a little late here. But welcome everybody. Unfortunately I can't get rid of that HEB Grand Prix of Texas because I got in here a little late, but this is what we will be going with here. There you go, you got Austin Dan in the lead here, as you can see. Got Timothy Rainey Lewis here in second place, and Wes Graham in third. Michael Nelson in fourth, and Nick Norris will round out your top five here. Austin Dan, your race winner from last week at COTA. And he's already off to a very good start. Here's Preston O'Brien. He did really good in the Cup race last night. Looks like we might have a race for the lead here between Timothy Rainey Lewis and Austin Dan. Timothy Rainey Lewis is pushing hard to try to catch him here, but Austin Dan keeping about almost a half a second lead above him, with Wes Graham about a second back. Austin Dan's. Ooh, Timothy Rainey Lewis diving the inside. Let's see if he can make this move stick. And he doesn't. Austin Dan holds on to it. Timothy Rainey Lewis kind of riding up towards the wall, but holds on to it out of two there. We have a close race for the lead between Austin Dan and Timothy Rainey Lewis. Austin Dan still holding him. Farther back, we got a good battle going on between Nick Norris, Michael Shaw, Preston O'Brien, Matthew Davis back there as well, Stephen Gilbert. They're all in a line here. Stephen Gilbert going for a pass on Matthew Davis, trying to make it stick. Ooh, gets into him a little bit there. Matthew Davis still holding on to it. Back to the lead. Austin Dan still holding on to it, but Timothy Rainey Lewis right on his bumper. Ooh, the 88 of Michael Shaw going for a pass on Preston O'Brien. Will he complete it into the dogleg here? And I think he does. Made the pass happen. Ooh, but Preston O'Brien kind of coming back with Matthew Davis right behind them, trying to hold the outside. Get into each other a little bit, kind of door each other, but they're okay back here. And the 9 is Stephen Gilbert getting in on some of the action here. Ooh, we almost go 3 wide into the dogleg. Back to the leader here of Austin Dan and Timothy Rainey Lewis, still racing very hard for the lead. Austin Dan, he is just putting together a great season so far, but Timothy Rainey Lewis diving the dog leg doesn't make it stick. Austin Dan stays on the track. Coming around turn 1 and 2 here. Austin Dan still holding on to it, and looks like we still have a close battle back here between Nick Norris, Matthew Davis, and Stephen Gilbert, and Michael Shaw back there knocking on the door. Stephen Gilbert dives down. Nick Norris holding on to that 7th place position from Matthew Davis here. Nick Norris is pulling away. Oh, he taps the wall. So does a couple more people behind him. Let's hope he doesn't have any damage from that. Austin Dan still holding on to the lead. And he's starting to pull away. Ooh, he's blinking a little bit. Timothy Rainey Lewis still about a quarter of a second back. Timothy Rainey Lewis still following close behind him, with Wes Graham back there in 3rd. Michael Nelson in 4th. And we have a caution. Matthew Davis and Nick Norris.
Sorry, no, I didn't mean to steer you there.
Jump back and we'll take a look at that. See what happened here.
We didn't wreck, still all good.
Nick Norris just comes down over the nose of Matthew Davis there. Nothing he could have done. Unfortunate for Nick Norris. Why don't we grab an interview with him and
Can we speed up and catch the field guy? Is that my fault, 16?
No.
see if we can find him.
Okay.
Guess he is not in a voice chat, unfortunately for us, but what can you do there? Jump back to the live here. Everyone's diving into the pits. Travis Griffin staying on the track, but Timothy Rainey Lewis, Austin Dan, Wes Graham, everybody coming in to get tires and fuel. Oh, Nick Norris has got a good bit of damage there. I imagine if he is done here, I might be able to get him to hop up into the booth with us. Why don't we find out really quick while they're under caution?
Before the pit was open. But just me.
That's why I got a penalty last time. I thought the same thing. But hey, Cup guys got to learn, right?
We've got a couple people that want an interview, but nobody is sitting in a voice chat right now, so I cannot pull them out and give them an interview, unfortunately.
Quick.
And everyone's coming out of the pits. Travis Griffin, because he didn't pit, is able to hold on to that first place. Might have came in and got tires early, but we're not
racing incident to me.
100% sure, but he is up there.
Okay.
Oh, okay, and here we go. We are coming back.
You can EOL me if you want, I guess, but I don't think I'd be much further from where I'm at.
Here, let's hop on Travis Griffin here. Let's watch him as he takes off. Let's see if he can hold on to this first place that he's got from not pitting here. Here we go. Green flag is back in the air. Here, 29 laps. Oh, and Austin Dan gets into the back of Travis Griffin, pushes him out of the way and says, that is my position. But Timothy Rainey Lewis takes it away from Austin Dan. And Aaron Doggett, I think, has gone around, but no caution.
72 go outside, I'm going in.
No caution. We stay green. Let's jump back here.
Colin, say
Nick
no.
Norris back on the... Ooh, then they're 4 wide coming down into the dog leg here. Just piled right up. There's a 64 Jack Humbert. There's
I've got
Austin
damage. There's
Sheff,
a
your
lot
Cup
beat
Series
off this, so just
broadcaster.
Remember that when you see a 16.
Jack Humbert back there in
I'm on
about
all tires, Nick.
17th. This is where we're watching the battle for about, 15th through 20th, I'd say. And, ooh, they're getting a little squirrely there. Ooh, and the 38 of Noah Jones into the wall. But he holds on to it. Jack Humbert still holding on to that position. Timothy Rainey Lewis still in the lead here with Austin Dan hot on his tail. Wes Graham behind them, and Michael Nelson and Tim Weinkoff round out your top 5. Preston O'Brien is back there in 6th with Mitchell Sundstrom in 8th. Michael Shaw in 9th. And Stephen Gilbert in 10th. Looks like he is fighting that position away from Shane Tackett here. Shane Tackett looks like he might dive the inside, but he doesn't, and he holds on to his position there. Stephen Gilbert still in 9th. Timothy Rainey Lewis still holding on to the lead.
Oh, never had that happen before. That's awesome.
Austin Dan is about a quarter of a second back, but he's picking up some time down the backstretch. See if he can get harder on the brakes, and he doesn't. Timothy Rainey Lewis still holding on to it. Let's see, back here in about, again, this is the battle for about 15th through 20th. So you got the 72 right there. Eugene Richards coming low on the dog leg, trying to complete a pass. The 25 there, Casey Schultz. The 65 of Jordan Barnes. Ooh, and they're 3 wide with Eugene Richards back there. Let's jump back to the lead. Still no battle going on here. Timothy Rainey Lewis still holding on to the lead. And caution is out. Aaron
Wreck it back,
Doggett has
check it.
gone around. Let's take a look at what happened here. All by
Kevin,
himself.
clear.
I probably just loses it here. Yeah, just spins around, coming out of the corner there and hits the wall. Unfortunate for Aaron Doggett. So that might give Austin Dan here a chance.
Old tires compared to new tires are astronomical. That was a crazy couple first laps there on the restart.
Yeah, that was actually really fun restart there.
They're wrecking into
And they're
it.
coming. Ooh, Austin Dan doesn't come into the pits. He stays out.
Careful not to pass on pit entry.
Stays out. What a choice by Austin Dan to try to keep the lead there. And he stays out with a couple of
how's
cars.
your
He's
car
got,
again? Sorry about that contact. I just lost the tires getting out of two.
he's got Wes Graham there. Let me shut off my voice chat. Sorry about that, guys. I'm sure you guys don't want to listen to them. I know I was sorry about everything here. I'm just a little late to the broadcast, but we are still here and giving you a race to watch here tonight. Might not be my best broadcast. It's only my second one, but I'm still learning and figuring it out. Here, the 16 of the Nick Norris gets the lucky dog and going around on the outside. Right now, Austin Dan up 10 spots from qualifying. Mitchell Sundstrom up 31 spots. That is insane. 31 spots. There's a lot of drivers who have moved up a lot of spots here. Ooh. As you can see here, started 34th for Mitchell Sundstrom, currently up into 4th. 30 spots. Davis Brown up 26 spots, started 31st, and he's currently in 5th. Here we go. We are going to be going back green here. Coming down the back stretch. We'll see if they can hold it together. Usually one caution breeds more, so let's hope for some good green flag racing here. It's only the second caution of this race. And here we go. Green flag is in the air, and Austin Dan taking off with it. Dives the dog leg. Wes Graham still, ooh, he's blinking, but he's holding on to it, and he is away. Wes Graham, just nothing for him. Mitchell Sundstrom trying to make a pass on Wes Graham. While Steven Gilbert and Shane Tackett also battling for position here. And we have another caution. And a lot of people have crashed here. Let's take a look at what happened. Here we have the 97 and oh wow, they all just get into each other in a pile up, nowhere to go. The 72 is involved, the 97, the 49. So many good cars are out of this race. Here, let's get a look at Eugene Richards here. We will take a ride in the cockpit with him to see what happened. And he just nowhere to go, but he doesn't really get too bad of a hit there. Back to the live. Austin Dan still your leader. Will Wes Graham and Austin Dan come into pit is the question. I doubt it. Probably saving their tires, but we will see. Austin Dan just having a great season so far. Still sitting in first place with Wes Graham behind him, Mitchell Sundstrom, Steven Gilbert, and Shane Tackett to round out your top 5. Austin Sheff, your Cup Series broadcaster, up to 8th with Matthew Davis behind him. Forgot to mention Cliff Chanel in 7th, the owner of GFi Racing League. And Sam Loftus, sorry about that, is sitting in 10th, up 19 spots. Jack Humbert back there as well. He's doing very good in the points. Noah Jones, the sponsor from Coda from last week. Thank you again to Noah Jones for sponsoring Coda's race last week. Here we go. You got some cars trying to catch up to the front of the pack. Wes Graham warming up his tires a little bit. Here we go. About to go green here again at the GFi Mobbin Pheonix 100. And green flag is in the air, and we are racing once again. Wes Graham stays high. Austin Dan hits the dog leg, and he is off. And there's my own teammate, Dalton Cleveland, up to didn't open my trading paint, so sorry to anybody that I didn't have your paint working. That was my bad. I realized after looking at Dalton Cleveland there. Like I said, very unorganized for this race, but I just wanted to get a broadcast up for you guys. Again, sorry for the mishaps. Austin, Dan, you're going to see the paint schemes are going to update really quick. Sorry about that, everybody, but we'll get correct paint schemes here for the broadcast. We'll watch Wes Graham because his paint scheme's actually working. There we go. Austin Dan's paint scheme is working now. Everyone else should slowly start to come in here. Dalton Cleveland. There we go. The 44 in Moxie Machine of Velocity Motorsports. Staying on the outside of the 86 Kyle Purcell. Timothy Rainey Lewis, he's back there. I wonder what happened to him. He's in 14th right now. He has lost some spots. And he gets into the back of the 62, and they're both... They hold on to it. Wow. What a save by both of them. Back to your lead here. Austin Dan still holding on to it. Wes Graham, close second. Jumping back. Here we have back to the 44 next to his teammate, Eugene Richards, in the 72. And the 62 is going for a pass on Dalton, and it looks like he will complete the pass. Preston O'Brien tried the dog leg, but he decided to stay on track there. And the 30 slows up a little bit. Let's see what's Zachary Guzman. Let's see what's going on with him. He slowed up. Still holding on to it. Then you have Michael Nelson back there with Michael Shaw. Timothy Rainey Lewis. Man, all the leaders besides from Wes Graham and Austin Dan. Austin Dan, still your race leader, just holding on to that lead. Not getting too far away from Wes Graham here. Wes Graham dives the dog leg. Does not make up any time, but I don't think that will be the last of what we're seeing out of those two. Coming to the halfway point in this race. Jump back, see if there's anything exciting going on back here. Ooh. The 30 almost went for a pass on Preston, but decided against it. Preston O'Brien holding on to, let's see, 20th right now. Not a bad spot. 72 of Eugene Richards there. Ooh, and we have, Dalton just gets a little loose there into Preston. They both hold on to it. Dalton holds on to it. Timothy Rainey Lewis looks like he wants to make a pass, but not able to get around these guys. Dives the dog leg. 3 wide, and he just gets into the 44 there, but the 44 holds on to it. Austin Dan still your race leader, up about 6/10 on him, on second place of Wes Graham right now. Wes Graham still holding him there. Wes Graham doing a great job of holding on to this lead. The 30 almost gets into Brian Troy, but Brian Troy holds on to it. It's Davis Brown sitting in 9th place right now. And we have a good fight going for the top 10. Austin Sheff, your Cup Series broadcaster, good race for him. He had a very unfortunate turn of events at COTA last week. He was hoping for a better race, but we'll see if he can do better here at Phoenix. Phoenix is a hard track. It's flat. The corners are banked a little bit, but it's mostly a flat track. It has that dog leg that you can dive down into, like Kyle Purcell just did, and you can go a lot lower than that, than what Kyle Purcell did, but it eats away at the tires, so it's one of those give and take situations. Here we go, Davis Brown's in the 6th, still holding on to 9th place with Austin Sheff right behind him. Tim Weinkoff in the 95 is back there in 11th. Samuel Loftus in 12th. He's up 17 spots in this race. We've got a couple people a lap down here already. Starting at Lucas Martin here. He is a lap down. Sorry, I think my timing was just messed up there. I don't know if he actually is a lap down. Fighting with Eugene Richards. No, I do believe he is. He is a lap down here. Yep. Yes, he is. Casey Schultz, another one who's a lap down, unfortunately. Brian Choi, 3 laps down. Jordan Barnes, 4 laps down. The 50 of Aaron Doggett, after spinning out and hitting the wall there by himself, also a couple laps down. Back up to the race leader here. Austin Dan has about a second lead on second place of Wes Graham. Coming up behind Nick Norris, who's having an unfortunate race here. And making the pass on Nick Norris. Wes Graham back there, still about a second. Mitchell Sundstrom back there, about almost 2 seconds back. Steven Gilbert in 4th. Kyle Purcell in 5th. He's having a good race here. Did really good in the Cup Series race last night, but unfortunately pit strategy kind of messed him up, and a little bit of me, but we don't talk about that. Kyle, if you're watching, I do apologize about last night's race. Kyle Purcell, top 5 though, pretty good here for the O'Reilly Series. He's always a very consistent racer who can put together a good race. Like I said last week, he's just very good at keeping it consistent and knowing what his car can and cannot do. Matthew Davis back there, another one we were keeping a close eye on last week. He was having a great battle with Lucas Martin. Seems, looks as though Aaron Doggett might have went around again. So, and he is back in the pits. Unfortunate for Aaron Doggett, and yellow flag is out. Michael Shaw has crashed. Let's jump and take a look at that. Let's see what happened here. Racing with his teammate. And he just gets into the 15, and ooh, they just get into each other. Nothing Lucas could have done there. Unfortunate for those two Skewer Cat drivers. So this caution coming out, this is going to change pit strategy a little bit. Austin Dan, still your race leader with Wes Graham back there and Mitchell Sundstrom, Steven Gilbert, Kyle Purcell, all in the top 5. And here we go, everybody coming down into the pits. And when I say everyone, I mean everybody. That's a good shot of just all the cars coming down into the pits here. Austin Dan, still your race leader. We'll see if he can hold on to it coming out of the pits here. I would assume they're going to make a 4-tire stop. And Austin Dan with that first box there. Ooh, maybe not. Nope, Timothy Rainey Lewis with the first pit stall. But he comes in a little late. Austin Dan looks like he's going to hold on. Ooh, Wes Graham comes out a little bit early. Race off a pit road. Austin Dan holds on to it. That's the one positive about having a box back all the way in the front there, is that you're able to get down on it a lot harder than the people behind you. As long as you're not speeding, anything goes. Austin Dan, still your race leader. I know you guys might be sick of hearing that name after last week and this week, but he's just a dominant racer here. He knows how to put together a good race, has great racecraft, very respectful, just an awesome racer. I would like to get an interview here with Nick Norris, but apparently he's not going to hop in a voice chat, so I can pull him. Nick, if you're listening, hop in a voice chat, please. Here we go. Coming down the backstretch, they're going to be coming back to green. We're going to take a ride here from the roll bar of Austin Dan here at the very start. We're going to ride along with him as we come to green here. You'll be able to see what he does and how he makes his laps so fast. Kyle Purcell up to third from that pit stop. Here we go. Green flag is in the air. Austin Dan diving the dog leg. You see how low he gets there. On the brakes. Ooh, he's washing out a little bit, but holding on to it. As you can see how much wheel movement he's got going on there on the left of your screen. And caution is out. Brian Troy has gone around. Let's take a look at this. And he just can't hold on to it. Self spins and takes out the 25 of Casey Schultz, and Casey Schultz hits the wall hard. Unfortunate for both of them. And another caution here at the GFi Mobbin Pheonix 100. Also, just like to mention here, Jordan Barnes racing for Trucer and I believe Ajax Racing Alliance tonight in that 65. Back to the lead here, Austin Dan. Nobody should be making a pit stop here from the lead. I'd love to get an interview here with somebody, but nobody is in a voice chat that I can pull. Austin Dan kind of getting into the pace car there. Luckily, it is a virtual pace car, so you are not able to run into the back of it. Don't have to worry about jet dryers or anything. You can't Juan Pablo Montoya here in iRacing. Here we go, we're going to be going green again, and instead of Austin Dan, let's grab a look here and ride along with Wes Graham in the 2. You know what? Actually, let's ride along with Kyle Purcell here in third. This will be a good idea of what Austin Dan does. Here we go, coming into the restart green zone, and they are green once again. Kyle Purcell diving the dog leg, and as you can see, Austin Dan just running away. Wes Graham to the outside of Kyle Purcell, holding on to that lead. We'll jump back so you guys can see this battle. Everyone's about 2 by 2, trying to get single file. Matthew Davis going for a pass on Kyle Purcell, but just does not have it to hold on to it there. And then the 9 is Steven Gilbert, dives the inside of Matthew Davis. And he completes the pass, might even go for a pass here on Kyle Purcell as well. No, Kyle Purcell holds it, washes up in front of the 20 of Matthew Davis, and Matthew Davis is going to take that position back. Austin Dan still your race leader here. Wes Graham about half a second back behind him. Here, Timothy Rainey Lewis, he was running up front, fighting Austin Dan for the lead, but it seems he is battling the car and battling other cars around him, not able to make these passes. Cliff getting a little loose there. Timothy Rainey Lewis might go for the pass, and he does, and he just doesn't have, oh, he does have what it takes. Cliff up almost into the wall. Timothy Rainey Lewis diving the dog leg. We have almost 3 wide. What a battle we've got going back here with Cliff, Chanel, Davis Brown, Timothy Rainey Lewis, Tim Weinkoff, Kevin Collins. They're all just battling each other. And Samuel Loftus here, sitting in a respectable 11th place. You got the 8 of, I believe, Mitchell Sundstrom. Yep, Mitchell Sundstrom. Jack Humbert going for a pass, but doesn't complete it on the outside. And Michael Nelson in the 15. Holding on to that position of 13th. Austin Dan still your race leader, about half a second up from second place of Wes Graham, with Kyle Purcell behind him, about 3/4 of a second back. Steven Gilbert about 1.25 seconds back from the leader of Austin Dan. Matthew Davis in the 20 here. Kyle Purcell, what a good race it has been for him so far. Just fighting his way back to the front, holding on to it. Now let's jump back a little bit. Michael Nelson here in 13th. Ooh, and looks like somebody behind them is getting a little loose. Eugene Richards in the 72. Dalton Cleveland back here in 23rd. Back up to the lead. Austin Dan running away with this once again. Ran away with it at Coda. Let's see if he can also run away with it here at Phoenix. I don't know. I think Kyle Purcell or Wes Graham may have something for them, and I'm sure that was not the last caution we saw. We have a battle going on here for 17th and 16th. Preston O'Brien holding on to it. And Dalton Cleveland up into the wall a little bit, it looked like. Unfortunate for him. Austin Sheff, your Cup Series broadcaster, sitting in 15th right now. He's having a pretty good race by his standards, I imagine. Austin Dan still in the lead here. Wes Graham behind him, and Kyle Purcell Steven Gilbert, Matthew Davis, all still in the top 5. Timothy Rainey Lewis up to 6th. He is making these positions back. Cliff Chanel behind him in 7th. Shane Tackett there in 8th, battling Tim Weinkoff for that position, who is in 9th. Samuel Loftus in 10th. And they are all pretty single file right now, and he's going for a pass on the 95 if Tim Weinkoff gets into him a little bit, but completes it and hold on to it. Davis Brown, though, coming, gets into the 95 again. The 95 just getting roughed around this race. And he gets into the 95 again. The 95 just cannot catch a break here of Tim Weinkoff. I'm sure he is getting a little aggravated with how other racers are racing him right now. I would be, I know that. Austin Dan still in the lead. Let's just jump back to this. This is a battle going on. Davis Brown into the back of the 95. 95 still holding on to that spot. And he finally seems to be putting on some ground here. Michael Nelson in the 15, the 8 gets into the back of him. And the 6 goes around the outside of the 8. There you go, Kevin Collins, one of your co-hosts of the Lucky Dog podcast, in the 49. Austin Sheff and Preston O'Brien there battling for 15th and 16th. Preston O'Brien, Austin Sheff gets a little loose, but holds on to it. Austin Dan still your race leader. Wes Graham back there in second, about 3/4 of a second back. Still the same of Kyle Purcell in third, Steven Gilbert in fourth, Matthew Davis in fifth, and Timothy Rainey Lewis making a charge for the lead. And we have a caution. Let's see, Kevin Collins and Travis Griffin have gone around here. Let's see what happened. So the 41 gets into the wall and just gets into the 49 there. And just nowhere to go is Travis Griffin. Unfortunate for him. Couldn't get on the brakes quick enough. Nothing he could have done there. Back to the live. Austin Dan comes into the pits, but Timothy Rainey Lewis stays out to take the lead back. And here you go. You see everybody coming into the pits to take their tires. Get a little bit of fuel, finish up this race. I'm not sure what Timothy Rainey Lewis's plan is here, but hopefully we will see some good racing. Still trying to get Nick to hop into a voice chat here so I can pull him up, but it does not seem like it's going to happen. Austin Dan, he is back there in about 6th place now after everybody stayed out. It looks like Kyle Purcell might have made up some spots on pit road. Jack Evans up to 2nd. Timothy Rainey Lewis in 1st. Zachary Guzman in 3rd. Tim Weinkoff, the one that was getting his doors beat off back there, is up into 5th with Austin Dan right behind him. Wes Graham behind him. Eugene Richards having a good race so far. Dalton Cleveland also back up there, up into 10th. Matthew Davis in 9th. Shane Tackett in 11th. Samuel Loftus in 12th. go. Pace car is into the pits, and Timothy Rainey Lewis will lead them to the green flag. There was about 15 laps to go when they come to the green flag. This will be a good little run. I'm sure there will be another caution. Here we go. Timothy Rainey Lewis into the restart zone, and he is off. Dives the dog leg, and he is off with it. Let's see. Austin Dan up to 4th, trying to just make up those positions back, not let Timothy Rainey Lewis get too far away. And he rides up into Kyle Purcell, into the wall. Both of them into the wall. I'm sure Kyle Purcell is not happy after that. And Timothy Rainey Lewis has got the lead, but Austin Dan coming up behind him. Oh, Timothy Rainey Lewis holding on to it, but Austin Dan diving the dog leg, both of them. Timothy Rainey Lewis trying to hold on to that first place position, but Austin Dan takes it back away from him. I am sure Kyle Purcell is not happy after that move that Austin Dan just had. And here we go, 3 wide into the corner. Wes Graham, Kyle Purcell, Tim Weinkoff. All stays pretty straight. Matthew Davis almost into the wall there. But they're all holding on to it. And Austin Dan just running back away with the lead. We'll see if Timothy Rainey Lewis has anything for him in the last 13 laps. And this is a exciting race so far. Mitchell Sundstrom in the 8. And here we go. We've got some passing going on here. Kyle Purcell falling back to 6th. Matthew Davis, gets into the back of Timothy Rainey Lewis there, who is falling back. Wes Graham there. Tim Weinkoff up to 2nd. And Austin Dan, your race leader, about a second ahead right now. Just putting together another great race. He's had a few slip-ups there, but other than that, and we have a caution. This could shake things up a little bit. 7th caution of the night. Let's see what happened. We have a big one. Jump back and look at this. Kyle Purcell just spins out, gets into Michael Nelson. Michael Nelson spins, and there's just nowhere for the 57 to go. Preston O'Brien gets throttled, and we have a pile up. Engines blowing. Steven Gilbert, Kyle Purcell, Mitchell Sundstrom. Just so many great racers are involved in that. But this gives Tim Weinkoff a chance to try to make a pass for the lead. Same with Wes Graham here. Matthew Davis also in striking position. Here we have Kyle Purcell, Preston O'Brien, Cliff Chanel, Steven Gilbert, Michael Shaw, Eugene Richards, all involved in that caution. Unfortunate for them. Hate to see it for them. But I'm sure Tim Weinkoff and Wes Graham are just thanking them. As much as you hate to see a caution, I am sure they are happy to see it. This is going to be a good little, probably 8 laps when they come back around, I think, will be what is going to be to go here. 8 laps when they go green again. And I'm just happy to be showing everybody what the GFI O'Reilly series has to show. Normally you guys wouldn't be able to see what happens here in the O'Reilly series, but I am broadcasting it for you to show you. Austin Dan, your race leader right now, he is very good in O'Reilly's. Hasn't moved up to Cup yet, but I'm sure he will secure his spot if he can stay consistent like he is. Here we go, Wes Graham trying to warm up his tires back there. Same with Shane Tackett. Everybody just trying to get a little bit of heat into the tires. Here we go, coming into the restart zone. Austin Dan is going to lead them, and he is off, and we are green here once again. Tim Weinkoff gets a horrible start. And Austin Dan just back to running away with it. Wes Graham hoping he might have something for him. Ooh, back there 3 wide almost with Matthew Davis. Timothy Rainey Lewis right behind him. Mitchell Sundstrom might be going for a pass, and he doesn't quite get it. Austin Dan still your race leader, but Wes Graham is moving forward. We'll see if Wes Graham can catch him here in the final 6 laps. He looks to be starting to catch him here. We might have a race for first. Wes Graham getting very, very close to the leader, Austin Dan there. Austin Dan diving the dog leg. Wes Graham stays on the track. Wes Graham. Let's take it right along with him here. See what he can do. And he is right on the bumper of Austin Dan. And we have a lapped car. That might mess around with Austin Dan here. And Wes Graham almost to the inside. Oh, to the outside. This lap car of Michael Shaw is going to not get in the way. On the outside, Wes Graham takes the lead. We'll see if he can hold it. Wes Graham takes the lead from Austin Dan. Austin Dan just seems to have overheated his tires or something here, because Wes Graham has taken the lead and is holding it. Wes Graham still holding on to that lead there. Shane Tackett in 3rd, Matthew Davis in 4th, Tim Weinkoff in 5th, Davis Brown in 6th, Samuel Loftus in 7th, Mitchell Sundstrom in 8th, Lucas Martin in 9th, and Austin Scheff, your Cup Series broadcaster, in 10th. Let's jump back to the lead here. Wes Graham still holding on to it. Austin Dan trying to make a run for it, but we are coming to the white flag. Will Austin Dan have anything for Wes Graham here? Here we go, coming around the final corner to the white flag. Wes Graham takes the white. Will Austin Dan have anything for him on this last lap, or has Wes Graham stole this win? Wes Graham about a half a second up on Austin Dan coming out of the corner. As long as he can keep it straight, not hit the wall, don't spin out, he has this win in the bag. Wes Graham coming to the checkered flag, and your race winner here at GFI Mobbin Pheonix 100 is the number 2 of Wes Graham. Austin Dan just could not hold on to it. Shane Tackett spun, it seems. Still holds on to that 3rd place, though. Austin Dan giving a little congratulations there to Wes Graham. Look at this. Everybody coming up to give Wes Graham a good job. Tim Weinkoff, his teammate there, giving him a thumbs up and good job. Davis Brown, Lucas Martin, all coming up, giving him a good congratulations there. Here we go. Time for the burnout. And you got everybody lined up to just watch Wes Graham's burnout. Here, I think I'm going to pull Timothy Rainey Lewis here. Wes Graham. Good win by Wes Graham there. Congratulations, and he heads off to victory lane. I am glad too as well. And again, Kyle, I am sorry about Cup. I know the luck didn't go your way last night, but that might have been a little bit of my fault as well. There you go. You have Austin Chef there, and everybody's just kind of celebrating with Wes Graham. I'd love to get an interview with him, but I don't believe he is in a voice chat.
Are you still broadcasting?
Nah, I'm about to shut it off.
Oh.
All right. Well,